And we're here. Yay! I hope everything audio wise is set up correctly. Find out somebody.
It looks good.
Oh. So hi. I am not running this session, running this series of sessions, I should say. So I will hand it over to our marshal very shortly here, but we are running Deadlands for the first time for three of us, the three players. I am a little congested, so I'm sorry if you can if you can tell. But anyway, we're the three of us. We're all very new here at the game. Of course, we have well documented D&D adventures together, but yeah, this is exciting. I think we all have a really great fondness for Red Dead, Western, all things Western. So this is really exciting. And maybe so I don't know if you can tell, but there's RJ, Foxtrot, me, and then to my right is Beth. And we'll hand it over to our marshal.
So good to be here, Julie. Thank you. Glad to put this together for you all. Really enjoy this game, the system. So, yeah, little Deadlands. You mentioned Red Dead. We're definitely going to be using that kind of as a touch point for locations. I think we all know that well. So it's just nice to say, hey, we're in Valentine. We all know what that is and all that. We won't utilize anything of the world other than just the map. But yeah, so before we came on air, we were kind of talking about some of the rules and things as you all are new. So introduce that. So we were just talking about bennies, poker chips. I got these really cool, got little
Whoa.
skulls on them or something.
Oh,
So yeah, pretty cool. So bennies are like kind of like an inspiration type thing. You all get 3 unless you have a edge or hindrance that changes that, but I don't believe so from your characters. So you all have 3 per session, and you use them or lose them. They don't carry over. So they allow multiple things. The main thing is like a reroll. It allows you to reroll a thing that you want to try again. Let me pull up the full list. 89 reroll. Bennies. Okay. Reroll. So reroll a trait roll. Shaken is a condition that'll happen in combat. So if you are shaken, you can only move. You can't do other actions. So there's a way to get rid of that, but spending a Benny for that is like a guaranteed way to do that. A soak roll is for damage. So when you take damage, you can use a Benny to attempt to soak the damage and kind of negate that. So that's pretty helpful. Action cards, Deadlands, Savage Worlds uses playing cards for initiative. So if you have a low one and you want to try and get higher in the order, you can spend a Benny to get a new card. Also touching on initiative, every round you redraw, so the initiative changes every round. Super cool. So you could get lucky and go again early, or get stuck at the bottom twice.
I also saw that like if there's like the Joker thing has like a really benefits.
Yeah, if you get a Joker, everyone gets a Benny. All the players get a Benny. If you get a Joker, and then you specifically can go whenever you want in initiative, and you get a +2 on your rolls during that.
Oh my
round.
god!
A really lucky card.
Really awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super good.
Whoa!
Super good. Rerolling damage as well. For anyone that's casting with powers, you can regain some power points back because those are the source. And then there's another one that is just influence the story, which I think is a good one. I think sometimes you just forget about it. Obviously, there's going to be up to martial discretion and things, but if there's something like, hey, this is an item that we probably would have had, or just something that I think is really appropriate, that's another opportunity. I think it's a really fun one to utilize bennies for that. So yeah, so you all start with 3. You can also earn more from just good gameplay, things like that. So please call that out amongst yourselves too. Like, hey, Julie just did something cool. I think that's a Benny. That helps me as a marshal, because sometimes I'm just elsewhere in the game. So certainly consider that and get yourselves some more bennies for sure. So those are those. We were talking about dice rolls a little bit too, as RJ, who's playing Ruben, had made a roll an occult role. And so in Savage Worlds, all our skills are based on a die type. So on this wonderful overlay that Julie put together, all the main stats are below there, and then there's skills. They all have a die number. So D8, D6, D4, etc. That's what you roll when you make a check. But because you are the what do they call them? The characters in here, not extras, wild cards. You guys at Savage Rolls calls you all wild cards. You also get an additional die that goes with your rolls, and that's the D6. So it's always a D6 extra. So if you have a D4 in like an athletic skill, you also get to roll a D6 with that. So you actually get a little bit of a benefit. You treat them as separate rolls, so that you don't add those. They're two attempts at the check. And so you get that on everything, not damage, but all skill checks and things like that. You get to utilize that extra die. So super helpful. And then our target number in Savage Worlds is the number 4. We're always trying to get a 4. And I mentioned that I can give bonuses or penalties to that roll to make it easier or more difficult. And just that's how we set challenges to these rolls, since we're only just going over that target number of 4. The other super awesome thing is that dice explode in Savage Worlds. They call them acing. So if you roll the highest number on a die, you re-roll it and add to your total. So D6, roll a 6, roll it again, get a 3. That's a total of 9.
Wow.
And as I mentioned, 4 is our target number. Every multiple of 4 is a bonus. Forgetting the name of that. What we call it. Raises. Raises is when you get another 4 over it. So if you roll a 16, that's a hit and 3 raises. Generally in a skill check, it only matters if you get at least 1 raise, and that gives you additional info. So RJ, in your role there, maybe you would have gotten some extra info if you would have hit a raise on that. In combat, raises are really significant because for every raise you do get, there's additional damage that you can roll with that. So in combat, the additional raises really can pile up. And I've seen some wild rolls. I've seen some things go just continuously, acing and exploding, and it gets wild. But that can happen on my side of the table too. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? Otherwise, we'll kind of dive in otherwise and just, as I said, learn as we go. That was a lot up front, but okay. So we are going to dive right into it. You 3 are traveling throughout the West. No specific locations here. You're just traveling throughout the West, heading. You know that the town of Valentine is nearby, and that's kind of your destination to maybe stop, hold over for a day or two along this journey. But unfortunately, you run into some trouble along the trail. So we're going to jump right into what's called a quick encounter. I love quick encounters in Savage Worlds. It's basically a way to deal with an encounter in a single dice roll. We're not going to go to a map. We're not going to take turns. We're not going to do all this stuff. We're going to solve this with one dice roll and just get it over with. So, Julie, as I mentioned, I know you're looking to run this. Quick encounters are great when there's a little bit of a narrative element to the encounter, but you don't want to sit there and slog through the turn by turn, combat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just helpful to get through this mob or whatever it is. And so quick counter is super cool the way to do that. So you come across a pack of what look like wolves. Ruben, RJ, I know you have occult. If anyone else has the occult skill, you can make a roll. Looks like
I do.
Beth, Cecelia. You all do. So you all have occult. Yeah.
And that's with the wild card too?
So yes, every time you roll a skill check, a trait roll, roll whatever your skill is listed. So Julie, for Charlotte, yours is at a D4. So you'll roll a D4 and then also roll a D6.
Oh,
and keep them separate. They're 2 different rolls.
Ooh.
So I just roll in the. Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you have dice, roll, or you can roll in
Do I do
Owlbear.
it now?
Yes, yep, go ahead.
I got a 3 and a 5.
Okay, hold on to that. Keep your best one there. So
I got a 6.
Oh, it. Okay, okay.
but so that works. They both. Yeah, you can roll them together. Just keep them
Yeah.
the two dice separately. So okay, Ruben, you said was that a 6 on a d6?
Yes.
So you can roll it again. That explodes.
Oh, yay!
Our first
First
explosion,
one!
yay!
5.
Aw.
Okay, so 11. Awesome. So
Wow.
our target number is 4, and you have at least 4 more. So you have a hit and a raise on here. And then Beth, for Cecelia, what was your best roll?
4 out of 6.
4 on your
Like a D.
d6.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So that's a success, the standard success. And then Charlotte, you had a 5, so you have a standard success as well. So, okay. So you all recognize that these are a little bit more than wolves. That is kind of like the recognition here that these wolves are what some have called, back up here, dread wolves.
Oh.
So that means they're extra nice.
That is not.
They are extra
So
cuddly.
Cuddly.
the wolves, there's these blood red eyes, almost glow. As you come in, we're coming in sometime, I'll say in the evening, early evening here. Sun is setting, but these wolves have approached along the trail and come at you, and just like heavy saliva drips from their mouths as they snarl at you. Their coats are all mangy. Some of their like missing chunks of fur, exposed flesh, real mangy looking and ferocious and whatnot, and just atrocious smell. This pack of 3 dread wolves there. So you know that it's much more than just your average wolf. This is something much more concerning.
Cool.
And Ruben, I'll say that with your raise, they act very much like normal wolves, whatnot. But you would know rumors or maybe experience that these dread wolves, also called blood wolves or banshee wolves, are sometimes created when normal wolves consume a supernatural corpse.
Okay.
Where that's come from, kind of transforms the animals, this bad blood, and that's the reason. That's where they come from. So you've been basically surrounded by these wolves, and you need to deal with them to continue on with your journey. So we're in this quick encounter here. So everyone think about one skill that kind of will encompass what you do for this encounter. Okay. Um, this sometimes can be challenging for people to grasp the concept of. It's not like an attack. Like if you want to do something that's attack oriented, yes. If anyone has a support role that they want to do, that like I would really, try and support the group in this situation, and you have a support related thing you want to do, really think about everything you have to offer, your edges, your skills, and think of it in a broad sense. And then you all get 1 dice roll to see how you fare in this encounter.
Oh man.
So, quick question.
How many of them were there?
Oh, go ahead.
What's that, RJ?
How many of them were there?
There's 3.
3. All right.
Yeah. That's not super important in regards of the mechanics of the quick encounter. Yeah.
So, with something like I have one of the edges, tale teller.
Okay.
And I mean, mechanically, it says you can help lower the like fear level overall. So, I mean, it's not necessarily like a skill itself, but could I use that as like, well, I just want to calm while they work on what they're doing, whatever they decide, I'll let them decide.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's a great way to lean into the narrative element of your character. Because mechanically, that the tale telling, we'll touch on that later, on where that actually comes in. But no, I think that's fantastic. So yes, but I'll need a skill roll.
Right.
Let's see here. I think Persuasion could
Persuasion.
probably, persuasion probably works. So you're trying to persuade your group to stay calm, stay steady, and deal with the situation. Make sure that these creatures do not overwhelm you.
I have I don't know if this means anything in this encounter, but I have a ability, an edge called supernatural attribute. So it's like agility. What does that like look or like how does that it says your sluggish reflexes cost you your life, but that has been rectified in death. Would that just mean I'm like
Supernatural agility.
better at moving? I don't know.
I think it would be through character creation, and it would grant you a, like when we build characters, you start with, I think you start at like D4s across the board for your attributes, the core
Oh, okay.
five attributes, right? And then you spend points to level those up. And
Okay.
the agility, the one you're talking about with that might be kind of like a freebie. Like when you choose the harrowed background, you get a free upgrade in agility.
Okay.
That's what I'm assuming. Yeah.
Right.
I wouldn't say that there's anything else that would relate to. So
I have a second question if that's okay.
yeah, questions
Um,
all day.
so there's like D4, D6, and D8. So is the D8 like a better something you're better at
Yes.
or
Yep. That's how that's ranked. So the higher the number, it's kind of a display of you are better at this skill.
I don't know if this is applicable, but I have a D8 in intimidation. Could I do
Okay.
something like that?
Yeah.
Could
Yeah.
I
I think
scare
that's,
them away?
They
yeah.
can
Yep.
get all
So
big and
yeah.
Well,
growl at them.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, I think the group is aware of your situation.
And
But
animals don't like me anyway.
that is very true.
So,
So yeah, I think there's a lot you can lean into, and narratively, however you do this, but that's kind of what you concentrate throughout this encounter
okay.
is trying to, yeah, do that. Yeah, absolutely. All right, Ruben, do we have a decision on your end for?
I mean, I just feel like I would probably try to, seeing them as a threat, I'd probably try to take them out as quickly as I could.
Okay, yeah.
Um,
So it definitely can be an attack-oriented
Mm.
thing. You're just not actually making attack rolls.
okay.
So for you, probably you're shooting. Like shooting would be
Yeah, I was
probably
thinking about
most
getting
appropriate here.
the Gatling pistol out.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so this is so kind of looking at again the quick encounter, little mini game, if you will. This is considered a dangerous encounter. You all can take damage from this here. So, as I said, I'm going to say that things have been smooth sailing, but this is actually a little bit of a difficult challenging. You are evenly matched 1-to-1, but really the odds are probably tipping in these wolves' favor. And so Ruben is not to undermine the other two, but Ruben's probably maybe the most skilled with the irons.
Yeah.
And
No, yeah. That's correct.
so I'm gonna put a -1 to everyone's rolls just to add a little bit extra difficulty here. So that means really you need to roll at least a 5 because the target number always is 4. You have a -1, so you really need to hit at least a 5 to succeed here. And then if in the dangerous encounter, if you fail, you'll take a wound, and we'll talk about that if it comes up. If you succeed, just normal success, we get bumps and bruises. We'll talk about that. Really, a raise, you did great, and you got free without issue and whatnot. So, who wants to go first?
I guess can I go first since it's kind of
You
like
absolutely can, Charlotte. Yeah.
we're trying to
You set the tone.
everybody just stay
Yep.
calm, it's all right. Like these are
And
nothing more than
there's
just some
not really a
backyard
turn
pups.
order here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it was appropriate, you could go certainly, but this is just who's gonna, who do we want to roll around the table? But
All
yeah.
right. So I'm doing persuasion, which is a D8 plus.
And then also always roll a d6. Keep them separate.
There's a lot in there. Okay, I'm just gonna do it separately. 8 That was
Wah,
a
wah.
Politics shift.
That was a 1. Okay.
Don't roll
We're all
another
gonna
1. I'll
die.
explain why in a second, but
And then a D6.
Don't say
I
that.
hope Marshall didn't curse it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So your best roll was a 2 because you have a -1 roll. So
Can I use do I get a +2? Are we lowering the fear level?
no, that's a different thing.
Use your
Do you want
fucking
do you want to use a Benny and re-roll?
Oh, actually, wait. Yes, I do want to use a Benny.
reroll,
Okay.
please.
Okay.
All right. So 1
Reroll.
Benny spent. So re-roll both die.
Oh, I can. Oh, okay, cool.
Oh.
Yep. Yep.
Oh,
You get to
sweet.
do
That's
the
so
full
nice.
Okay,
full
so we'll do the
reroll.
6 first. So
So
that's a 4, which is
okay.
still not,
Better.
which is still not good, but we'll.
Hey.
Yes!
Oh my
And
god.
that explodes. So roll it again.
Yay! Okay, yay!
Again.
Yay! Okay, well.
Oh.
9. But that's actually really good because you rolled a 9 -1 8, and
so
that's a hit and a raise.
Oh, true.
So that's very good. Critical failures. If you roll 2 1s,
Mm-hmm.
natural ones, not with the not with the modifier, but 2 natural ones, that's a critical failure, and really bad things happen. So we'll see
Okay.
if it comes up, but just to keep that in mind. And
In the
you
back of your
cannot
mind.
you cannot spend a Benny on that. It's a true failure, things like that. So
Oh, okay.
as it comes up. But,
I
all right.
like
So Charlotte, you are there. You're trying to amp up your team, and you just do so fantastically. So all right, who's up next? Ruben or Cecelia?
I'll go.
Okay, Cecelia, go. What did we say you were doing? Intimidation, right?
Yeah. So
All right.
D8. Go. Right,
Not there,
right,
but also
right.
roll a d6.
And then a 6.
Oh.
Okay.
All right, so that's a success because that's a 5 -1. So you have a standard success. So
Okay.
all right, and last but not least, Ruben,
All right.
You
fire
better have
that
some
Gatling gun
sharpshooting
Say
there.
away.
with
You better have some sharpshooting. Oh!
Oh my god!
Yeah, fantastic. Roll it again.
All right.
Oh my god!
Dude.
Oh my god!
And again, that's 2 8s in a row. Let's see how many more we get.
God, these are gonna be like Swiss cheese.
Oh, I can't see it on my screen. What is it?
It's a
Oh,
4.
there we go.
4.
Okay, so
That's you
16,
have really
20.
good luck.
20 -1 is a 19.
But that's
Yeah.
That is really good. Really, in this situation, it's just basically a hit and a raise. Nothing extra for the additional raises, but fantastic. All right.
He's our
So,
muscle.
yeah,
yeah.
he's the guns.
Okay, so Charlotte and Ruben just excel here. You deal with the situation fully, and you walk off with, not a scratch. You pull away from this encounter well. Cecelia, you succeed. You help out and contribute to this, but you do suffer some bumps and bruises along the way. So, bumps and bruises. I wonder if I don't remember your archetype has anything for this, but basically, you have a level of fatigue, is what
Oh,
bumps and bruises is.
okay.
And so, a fatigue is one level. When you have fatigue from bumps and bruises, you recover 1 level every 24 hours.
Okay, okay.
Normal fatigue is an hour, but if it's bumps and bruises, it's 24 hours.
Okay.
And then what fatigue is a penalty to your rolls.
Oh, so it says like -1, -2.
So fatigue, you subtract 1 from all trait rolls.
Okay.
So
I put that
make
on
note of
the
that,
thing.
and
Mhm.
we'll keep that in mind. So
Okay.
okay, so you all successfully fend off these dread wolves, and you're on the outskirts of Valentine, and you quickly arrive and come in along I think it's the south side there where the train station is, and roll into town and head uh, up the western side street towards the hotel to
Okay.
grab some lodging for the evening. It's been a long night. As we come in, I think all of you can have horses for this. That's fine.
Oh, wait.
Ruben,
Yes.
Ruben, go ahead. As the three of you roll into Valentine, give us a quick little intro of your character, physical, and then just background too on who you are.
All right. So my name is Ruben James. I'm a gentleman in his late 40s. I have a strong mustache and an even stronger chin. I have long auburn hair that's kind of wrapped in a ponytail. Black suit with a bolo tie and a black gambler's hat. Um, do I say like what I like my class?
Yeah, you can give some
Yeah.
extra details if you
So
want. Yeah.
I'm an agent, um, and a pretty cynical one at that. Um, kind of dedicated my life to fighting the supernatural and the forces of evil. Um, and I feel kind of lucky because I'm still alive,
Mm.
but I am curious just how much time I have left.
I think that's
Oh.
a good cautious sentiment to have here in the Weird West. Absolutely. So, all right. Alongside is Julie, Charlotte. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes. So Charlotte, she's a pretty young woman. I'd say she's around 20. Got her hair, blonde hair in a sort of braid situation. They've been traveling a bit, so she's kind of in more like um comfortable, modest attire. All that like traveling, yeah, traveling hat, riding hat kind of situation going on.
They
Yes, she's kind of always got like a really, I want to say like kind of like a wide-eyed look on her face. Like she's always kind of, you know, taking in the surroundings. She's got a in her coat pocket a notepad and charcoal pencil, readily accessible, to be able to take notes. And also almost like exclusively trailing Ruben. Like whenever they're off a
The
horse, she's
horses
just
are
kind of,
like
yeah, the horses are like touching. Whenever they're off the horse, she's kind of just like, I take it we've been traveling for a little bit, but even then, like the first couple days is like even just taking notes about like what, she knows how he takes his coffee, how he likes his eggs in the morning, exactly how his gait is. It's been a bad, it's gonna be a bad day when he's woken up just 5 minutes past sunrise. Kinds of yeah.
she's
That's
like
Very,
stalking
very
you.
intimate
Details,
details.
dude.
Fantastic.
I mean, you never know. You never know. Something could come up that you need to, and it'll be good to have taken these notes.
Fantastic. All right. And then last but not least, Cecelia, do you want to have a horse or would you be maybe like no, that's up to you.
Um, I don't know if either of them would let me, but I would also be a passenger on someone's horse, so I don't have to control the animal. But I don't know if either of them know her that well yet. But could I hitch a ride on either of your horses?
Yeah, you can pitch a
Or
ride
we
on
could say there's a wagon
Alright.
situation.
Or some oh
Or
my
wagon.
god, I love a wagon.
Yeah.
Yeah, either one works.
Let's do that. Let's do so it's a wagon and then Charlotte and Cecelia are like in, maybe somebody is sitting shotgun. Actually, Charlotte's definitely sitting shotgun.
I'm definitely sitting
Yeah.
shotgun.
And then
Like, let me
Cecelia
look at how
in
you
the
hold the
back.
reins.
Yeah, in the back of the wagon there. And Ruben, yeah, you were kind of steering this single horse, small. It's nothing special, but it was enough for this journey. There's a little bit of your equipment that you needed there. So yeah, come in. So Cecelia, go ahead and introduce yourself.
So, I will play Cecilia, Leah. Um, and she is a kind of late 20s, maybe early 30s woman, blonde hair. She's wearing like traveling clothes, like a traveling dress and like not super fancy or anything. She uh if you like get close to her, she's wearing like kind of a lot of makeup, but you know. And she has like a flower in her hair. And she mm, looks like a bit like puffy, maybe a little tired, like big bags under her eyes, but kind of like zoning out a little bit, kind of like a distant look to her. But yeah, that's her.
All right. And so the three of you, are traveling together. Um, Charlotte, I think you did mention you're kind of specifically tagging along with Ruben,
Yes. Yeah.
correct?
I'm
Yep.
like,
Okay.
yeah.
So that's the reason you're with the group, and then
Mhm.
Cecelia, you're kind of just going in the same direction, as the group, and head connected somewhere along the way.
Yeah, I saw how he
To
took care of those wolves. I'm staying with him.
Yeah. So there's likely a greater destination down the road. This is one of those stops along the way, on that journey. So come into Valentine and head to the hotel and rent out some rooms, for the evening. At least one night you think you're going to stay, but maybe more. There's always interest in opportunities along the way. Earn some money, find some fun, adventure, this and that, of course. So I think I'm gonna just turn it over for now, and you guys can kind of chat amongst yourselves, and where do you want to go from here? It's evening, in town. It's not super lively. The saloons across the street from the hotel there, so that's definitely the liveliest place right now. As you headed in head into the hotel, you could hear piano playing, and just that din of the crowd within their glasses chinging, and voices, boisterous voices here and there, from within. But yeah, you all kind of take your rooms and freshen up as you might need, and maybe reconvene in the hotel lobby and see what you're gonna do.
I go down to the hotel lobby and I look for Ruben. Ruben, are you down there?
Yes, I certainly am.
Well, good evening, Ruben. I trust you're all settled into your room, okay?
Yeah, I travel pretty light.
Great. So, what are your plans for this evening?
I'm gonna get a drink.
Okay. Are you a whiskey or more tequila oriented here, perhaps? What's your drink of choice?
He's thinking about it for a second. How drunk do I want to get? I'm gonna
You
do.
tell me.
I'm probably doing whiskey tonight.
Okay, whiskey tonight. All right. You know what? I'd like to buy you a drink for how expertly you. I mean, you were firing those pot shots at the at those wolves out there, and I was pretty impressed.
Well, thank
Clearly,
you. It's all
being
it's all just part of the trade, really.
that's well. Can I quote you on that?
Certainly, put me
Oh,
on a bunch of other stuff already.
cool.
I'll come down the stairs and kind of
Oh, Miss
walk up.
Cecelia,
Hello.
are you a drinker yourself?
Oh, yeah, I tend to drink quite a bit these days.
Oh, that sounds like something I'd like to hear over a shot myself. Why don't we all mosey on down to the saloon here? What's the saloon in here called? Or just Valentine's Saloon, ain't it? Now that I
I
think
just
about
saw a
it,
giant saloon sign. I think
I
that's
think
all
it's
they
I
just
call
think
it.
it's
saloon, huh?
the only
Okay,
one in town, so
all right. And then I
I'm gonna
then
to our host here, Julie. What is the saloon's name?
Valentine's Saloon.
All right.
it doesn't have like a tagline or anything.
Um,
Chucky
drink
Muddy
so
cheese.
drink
like
so good
more.
you'll forget about the mud on your fucking shoes.
Drink your heart out.
drink your
Yeah.
drink your heart out.
Love that.
All right. So just wander across the
Mosey
dirty,
as
dusty
we
street of Valentine, across to the saloon that the noise from inside just kind of increases as you get closer and push through the swinging doors there. They just have that, well-known squeaky hinge noise, and you get definitely turn some heads as people just, some of them look up from their drinks as, just seeing who is coming in. um everyone give me notice checks as you step into the saloon.
How do I do that?
No, so notice is a skill on
No.
your
Oh, I see it.
um
I see it.
yep.
And so then I
Oh boy.
take a
Yeah, me
1
too.
from it, a -1.
Yep. Oh, but I have that on my skill, so I get the wild card, right?
Yeah, anytime I request a trait roll, you're going to use that d6. Yeah.
Okay, well I got 3 was my best.
4 was
Okay.
mine.
So we roll 2d6?
So you roll whatever your stat says.
Yes,
So
yeah,
in
yeah.
your case is a d6,
Yeah.
and then you always roll an additional d6.
Okay.
The wild die, the additional dice never changes. It's always a d6, but you always get to use it.
Can I use one of my bennies?
Did you roll each
I
roll?
rolled 2 3s.
Okay. Yeah, if you want. Absolutely. So then
'Cause
you
I
get to
I also does the fatigue,
Oh,
attribute to
that
this or
does
no?
apply. It does.
Right,
Yes.
yeah, so I
Yep.
wanna
Yeah.
okay.
None of us are
Right.
paying attention.
Oh, wow.
That's a dirty 1 and a 1, so it's okay. It's
You're
not a crit
safe.
fail, but it's still not good.
Man.
Charlotte, what did you have?
I had a 4.
4 is your best?
Yeah, 4 was my best.
Okay. All right. So a success there. And then Ruben, I think you said a 3.
Correct.
Okay. 2. All right. All
I
right.
should hope that I'm good at noticing things. I would
Yeah.
hope so.
And I should know I really just want to go drink right now.
So just to cut in on one thing about skill challenge checks, trait rolls, you can, if there's something that one of you don't have, let's see, trade journalism. So Julie's character has the journalism trade skill. And probably a bad example here, but just for illustration purposes, the other 2 of you could still make an attempt. And if you make an attempt on a trait roll of a trait you don't have, it's a d4 -2.
Wow.
You do have, and the -2 I do believe applies to the d6 as well. I'll have to verify that when it comes up. But you still, I mean, there's still a chance.
There's a
There's still the
chance.
opportunity that,
So you're
so
saying
you,
there's a chance.
yep. So it's called untrained. You're untrained at the skill. You can still attempt it.
I mean,
You have the
makes sense.
wild die, but it is at a -2. So, could come up. So,
Luck
all
will
right.
be in your favor.
So you all step in, and a few heads turn and whatnot. Charlotte, you do notice, you kind of like pay attention to the glances, and for the most part, it's just people checking, who walked in the door. But there is a pair of individuals kind of off to the side there that their gaze seems to linger a little bit more than everyone else. Just kind of intently lingers, checking you all out. So you step inside, piano right to the front left. There's a couple tables to the right, individuals playing some cards, and the rest of the back is just scatters of tables with patrons here and there enjoying. And then the bar to the left as well, where a bartender is serving patrons. A few people leaning up against the bar, and then otherwise those coming and going to get beverages. So bartender kind of just looks up and acknowledges you all coming in and says, "Howdy, folks. Visitors in town?"
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Well, if you're thirsty, I can do something about it.
I am parched.
Well, what'll be, friend?
What's your strongest whiskey?
Well, we only got one kind of whiskey, and it's strong.
I'll take it.
Can
Pulls
I
out
get a
this.
double?
Ooh.
Oh, my lord. Oh.
I was intrigued by a lady that knows how to drink. Said is that a broken heart you were drinking over?
Um, no.
Well, and something to celebrate.
Yeah, you could say that. Some new friends.
Yeah, well, I would always cheer to that as well. Pulls out this, dark glass colored bottle, and pours out cork pops and pours pretty solid pour there for the agent, and an even better one uh, for Cecelia there. And then looks over to you, Charlotte, and says, "Miss, anything for you?"
Well, I was gonna just have a beer, but it seems like everyone's having whiskey, and I don't quite like feeling left out, so I'll go ahead and get a shot, just a regular shot.
Like a
He
half
kind of leans
shot.
in, and while he's pouring, he's like, "The beer ain't that great anyway, if you ask me." Pushes the glass over there. A few coppers each all around. Feel free to start a tab if you want. So definitely tell some new faces in town what brings you through.
Well, it was getting late, and we actually ran into a couple of mutts outside of town. Friend here, she got a little. I mean, she's fine. She got a little banged up from it. Figured it's already getting late. Best to find pull in for the.
Yeah, well, I mean,
They were kind of sick
you know,
looking. Is there like a is
yeah,
there a
really,
disease going around? Like anything with the animals around?
not specifically that, but I've heard about weird things around here. You, he stops and he kind of like catches himself and he says, "You know, there is you should go look up Marshall Thompson next door. You
Marshall,
might ask him about the taxidermist."
that is intriguing
I
thing
don't
to
like
tell
that.
me.
Everyone else, give me another notice roll.
Huh?
Look over at
You
the
know,
taxidermist.
Listen, I ain't a fan of the
everything.
government, no taxes. I don't want to deal with none of that.
My best is a 3.
I got a 5.
Damn, RJ, what the fuck?
Beth, is that after penalty?
Yeah, that's after.
Okay.
I'm waiting for it to go downhill. Don't worry.
Right when you need it, it's gonna be.
Right when I need it, it's gonna be ones on all across
It's
the board.
all giggling, smiling, and laughing until we're in combat.
My gun is gonna blow up in my face. I know it.
Yeah. Charlotte, did you roll?
Oh, no, sorry. I thought okay.
Oh, good. Notice roll.
Eesh.
Whoa, why do your dice look so cool? How'd you do that?
Oof, double twos.
Okay. So I think RJ, you said you had a 5, right?
Yes.
Okay, so a success there. You notice, RJ, you pick up when the bartender mentions the taxidermist. There's a few people that kind of like throw an eye and just there's a reaction to it. And you get a sense of it's a reaction of like fear. They're like others have like there's a hesitance, anxiousness over this. And wonder and other things like that. Yeah, there's something that an air about the room when this name is mentioned up. And I'll kind of like just a slight backtrack and say that the bartender, kind of like leaned in as he didn't really say it out loud, but it was enough that people close by, yeah, had this reaction to it.
Noted.
I feel like we're just his like 2 daughters. Like, and he's doing everything, and we're just like,
Like, thanks, Dad.
And
shoot him
you're,
again, daddy.
sure.
Again.
Anything you can tell me about this Taxidermist?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can
I
tell you
say
don't want to
quietly
run
back.
into him.
Oh, I'm sorry, what was that?
Said you don't want to run into him.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll let the marshal handle those details. It sounds like, and he kind of like he steps back and like scans all of you. He's like, looks like you came out quite well against those mangy wolves you mentioned. So maybe you lot are up to dealing with this individual.
Well, it certainly wouldn't hurt to take a look.
Yeah, worth a good copper or two.
That indeed.
Now, of course, if you're looking for work, so you're just passing through, that's fine as well. We do appreciate all the patronage here at the Valentine Saloon.
And I do enjoy your whiskey.
It's a
Oh,
lovely
right.
place.
Speaking of that, I will be taking care of the tab for all of us.
Oh, indeed.
I'm in a good mood.
All right.
Thank you, Miss
whiskey.
Charlotte.
The little one has big pockets. I like that.
Well, so you said a couple of copper, right? Okay, I got it. I
So
got
wait,
it.
how much?
No, I got it.
Get the bill the
Is
next
that
day.
the tab for the whole night or this round?
But were you already had a double, Miss Cecelia? Are you
How much more can you drink?
girl? Well, no, go drink your heart out, as they say.
She's like
Counting. Yeah,
Bartender's like, that is what we say.
right? So
that's our slogan.
how about you,
I hand him my
Mr.
empty glass.
Oh no.
I would love another one.
We're gonna drain the little.
I'll just stick with the one. You know what? I'm still nursing it. I haven't even taken
She hasn't sipped it.
just a
It's
little.
good to pace yourself. Good to pace yourself.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
don't we do a cheers?
So kind. Or what are we cheering to?
Not dying today.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay. To not dying.
To not dying.
Clink.
Is there
I watch her. Does she drink?
Tiny little sip.
I feel like that makes
Drink
it
like half
worse.
of my glass. Wait, do I have a
Mm.
shot glass or do I have like a tall glass?
it'd be like a rocks glass.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I drink like half of it.
Ooh, that is strong.
Charlotte, make
Oh,
a
no.
I think make a vigor roll. You have a D4 on that. That's one of your
This
attributes.
is so funny.
Do I also get a D6 or is it just
You do, yes.
is that one?
Right.
Right.
Right. That makes
And
sense.
what was the first one?
A 1 and a 2.
And then 1 and a 2. Okay. Yeah. So this whiskey, it burns. It's tough to take. Yeah.
Mmm.
You're making faces.
Mmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh,
Does she show that she's like struggling with it?
burn your nostril
Yeah, I think
hairs.
it's
You know
hard to
what I
burn.
mean?
I'd say it's pretty hard to.
Whew.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. Is that hell water?
Very often.
Fire water? Did you somehow manage to actually like liquidize fire? Woo! Wow.
Cecelia, when you made that toast, was there a certain emphasis on that of not dying today?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Man.
All right. So
down
you
with
have
it.
some topped off beverages. What
Well,
from here?
Ooh.
I don't know if she topped hers off.
Yeah.
I'd probably turn around, just kind of analyze. Well, are there any empty tables?
Yeah, I'll say there's at least one.
All right, I'd sort of like gesture over to the empty table.
There are some seats at the poker tables as well.
I will get back to you on that one.
He's like, well, hang on. Okay. As we go to the as we go to the regular table, Can I just sort of take like just a little glance over at the corner where I saw the people that kind of like just to see if they're still looking at us?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who would that be?
Yeah. You glance over there, and they're actually gone.
Well, interesting.
It'd be pretty often. A lot of these buildings have like a back exit.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty common. You're gonna have a front and back, and so you feel confident enough that you didn't see them go through the front, and so they're not there. You kind of glance around the rest of the room, you don't see them, so maybe they took out the back, but they're at least not at their table anymore.
Okay,
We
there's
take their
also
table.
we take that's actually the table we're taking. You snooze, you lose, pal. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, I I'll take a seat. Are there any? Again, as I'm looking around, are there any? Do I see any badges?
Not in here. No. No.
Side note: do I have a badge for the agency, or
Yeah, I think you could. And I would say that's up to you on if you want to display it.
I
Maybe it's more
I'd
of like
probably it's like intercoat.
yeah. Yep. I think that's fine. Yeah. Probably it's obviously travel happened, but your suit, is going to be a little bit, better than nicer than what's super common, I
Mm-hmm.
would say. Yeah,
It's tailored.
exactly.
He's got money.
I sit,
Um,
I sit down and I lean back pretty far. My favorite time of the day. You can quote me on that.
Will do. Which part? The drinking or just the saloon
in
in?
Yes.
Okay.
together.
I saw you
Is
eyeing the
there a
poker table. Are you a betting man?
I've done it a time or two in my time.
Hmm. I have a question. Actually, I have two questions.
Fire away.
Is there a piano?
There is.
Is it a skill to play the piano?
Yeah, there's probably something related to that. Let's see here.
I just wanted to play a little tune, but if it's like
Yeah.
really hard.
You can always attempt. I mean, as I
Critical
said, so
failure.
you like
You could
It
certainly
would be.
try.
yeah. Let's see traits here. I don't see like a music. I wonder what
Can I just try it then?
academics. So yeah, let me look at your I don't know if you have anything that would be appropriate.
Oh,
Um
oh.
no.
Athletics for my fingers.
Common knowledge. I think
Okay,
we'll
they're
throw it
just a
under
4.
that. So that it's still a D4, but you don't have that -2 penalty here, which I think is the
Oh,
benefit of
yay!
using that. So yeah, you go over there. Yeah, so D4, and then also roll that D6 alongside it as you sit down to the piano. And
Oop. You've had a double whiskey
I
shot,
like
to be
Get him out
fair.
now. Get him out now.
It's been the whole session.
Oh no.
I'm sorry. I wish that to happen. I kind of wanted that to happen just so we could talk about a critical failure. And
So
I think this is
I've
going to be
never
a
played
good
the piano
situation for it.
before. I'm gonna go try it now.
You're
you
gonna break
got
the piano.
you've got the confidence of a double shot of
Literally, that's what
whiskey.
she said. She's like, I've never played the piano before, so I'm gonna go try it right now. She's feeling the whiskey.
Okay.
So as I mentioned, you cannot, on a critical failure,
Yeah.
you cannot use the Benny. So it sticks to what it is. Critical failures, the attempt definitely automatically fails, and usually something else bad happens. So Cecelia, what else bad happens as you go over to the piano and you sit down to try and play this? What is this extra catastrophe that goes down?
Man, I think she
I've got
is
some
like a
ideas,
little.
but go for it.
Oh, okay. I'm scared.
No, if you
Um,
if you need ideas, but please go ahead and
well, yeah, she's never played the piano before. She has some liquid courage. So, obviously, it sounds horrible. Like, it sounds, like, awful. Um, a critical failure? I would say, uh, after, like, maybe a minute, like, even she realizes that it sounds really bad. Like, she's like, "It's kinda hurting my head now," you know? And so as she goes to, like, try to stand up, like, the stool, like, she falls over on the stool. Maybe the stool breaks a little bit. Like, she's like,
yeah.
"Oh, shit," and, like, falls. And that's what I imagine.
Okay. So yes, there's just a moment of uncoordination as you just realize that this attempt was not well. And unfortunately, there is a half empty bottle of beer sitting on there, and you knock that over too, and it hits on the piano. And a gentleman runs over. He's got these like suspenders, and he's just this like real fine waxed mustache and slicked back hair. And he's like, what did you do? You oh no. And he's just like trying to quickly like clean up the
I'm
as it's
fine, it's
seeping
fine.
into the keys. And I was like, oh, it'll be all sticky. This will be
Uh, I'm sorry. No, I'm fine though. You know, it's fine. She, like, stands up. Um, I'll pay for the beer that fell over.
he's just very thrown off. He's like you can tell he's like, I don't care how you are.
Just
It
just put it on my tab, and I'm gonna walk back to the table.
he just stares like the two of the other two of you, as Cecilia's obviously walking away from this individual, looking at he's just like staring like daggers into the back of her.
Don't write that down.
And and then turns and he quickly like tries to clean up the mess. And you see him like testing the piano, and he gets down to that section, and it just there's this weird like just muffled weird sound that it's not
Oh my
initially it's not working
god. He
He
properly.
ruined
didn't
the
get,
So
like,
piano.
into the chords, right? It's just the keys, it's fine.
Shit. Lady who has never played the
Hmm.
piano a day in her life.
A
I
modern
don't
day
think I'm
Mozart.
musically inclined. I'm gonna stay over here now. She just sits down.
Have, what Jesus.
I thought I would just try it, you know? Like, I've never tried it before. Anyway, so, Charlotte, where are
Yeah.
you from? What are you doing here?
Um are you just trying to
Before we met.
to
No,
deflect
go
miss
on.
I'm
What are you
familiar with
writing?
this
What's
tactic.
what's on that
Oh,
paper?
I'm writing about how you just knocked a beer over a
No, before the
piano.
page before that
The
one.
page before that one is Marshall Thompson. Go talk to him about the taxidermist.
Right. Do you
Before that, it
do
said
you
you
guys
ordered a
see
double
the
whiskey. You remember that? Because I remember that.
why'd you write that down?
You never know.
Never know what.
It might come up sometime. We might need to, corroborate, or, you might get arrested tomorrow for that poor man's piano, and I might have to
For
be a witness
vandalism?
for vandalism, destruction of property. And I mean, I've got it right there in my notes. It says, Leah double whiskey. So,
Well, maybe you shouldn't write down that happened.
well, I've
So
already
bad.
done it. I don't know what you want me to say. It's in the paper. It's written. It's done. It's there.
Is that pencil?
Yeah. I don't
Well, it
carry an
can be
eraser
unwritten.
because I don't think mistakes need to be corrected. Quite
I don't
frankly,
think the truth can be erased.
I don't think the truth can be erased, so I don't carry an eraser.
I like that mindset.
Thank you, Mr. Rubin. So, it's
You're just gonna
unabashed, unabridged, right here,
you
all in
just
my journal.
I hand her my whiskey.
I don't know. I think we should cut her off. I don't think she needs any more.
I mean, clearly she's trying to forget this ever happened. This is the
You
best.
I drink
do
it.
yeah, Cecilia, you don't get drunk, right?
Oh, fuck!
Yeah, you don't get
Well,
drunk.
I'm
So
gonna
which is fine.
pretend that I was drunk.
Yeah, so that's fine.
That's her cover story.
Yeah, you intentionally
You intentionally
I
Spilt beer on the
intentionally
floor.
knocked it over. No, it's like my shoe got caught on the skirt, and it's easier to just not be embarrassed by pretending you're drunk. Also, it wouldn't make sense that she just took all of that alcohol and then there's nothing. So she wants to keep appearances, okay? No one has to know. But
Do
I
you
drink his too.
do you think that have you kept this up amongst these two, or is this a show for?
I would say like a little bit. I think there's a certain amount where she wants to appear as normal as possible, even though like they
Mhm.
know it's like, it's still weird to see. So she's tries to at least a little bit keep appearances.
Yeah.
So I would
Tries
fully
not to
believe that
like
she is intoxicated right now.
Sorry, say that again.
Would I fully believe that she's intoxicated right now?
Give me
Well,
another
how? Yeah, like how
occult
much
roll
would
on
we
this and
know?
see.
All right, let's
a
see.
cult. What do you know about me? Nothing.
3 and a 3.
Okay.
Oh,
So this would be, a piece of lore about your traveling companion that you just, maybe you've heard some stories, but you don't know details, and yeah,
the way I'm
I can
acting.
think she can just take a lot of alcohol, and she's just taking a
yeah,
lot of alcohol. Here, have
yep.
some more alcohol.
Thank
Oh,
you.
what? Okay. I just hope that piano man is not like friends with
What
anyone
piano
important.
man? It's already
The one
it's
over there. He's still
like
trying
in
to
a
play them
saloon. Time moves
keys.
so fast that like that was ages ago.
Oh, 5 minutes ago to be exact.
It was at
Got my
7:20. What?
No, it
I
was
love
at
that.
7:27.
But drunk people don't know that. You know? Like it's fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. No, is anyone looking at us besides
I'd
the
say no.
podcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, it's forgotten. It's forgiven and forgotten.
I don't know if it's forgiven quite yet.
Forgiven and forgotten.
Okay.
On that note of onlookers or anything like that, lack thereof, there is a little bit of a commotion, not anything major, but amongst some of the patrons at the one of the card tables, and just like, well, shoot, I guess my pockets are dry. That's it for me tonight, gentlemen. And then one of the others is like, oh, come on, Cletus, we need to have another player. We need to have the full table. Come on, I'm sure you've got more in there. And this individual, Cletus, is like, I'm out. And he pulls his pockets out. He's like,
Shit, he's
maybe
really out.
tomorrow,
That's
boys.
I
embarrassing.
take not standing up yet, but I take a copper out, hold it up, and say, "I'll substitute."
Ooh.
And there's kind of like some murmurs amongst the table, and says, actually, everyone, give me a notice roll. See if you can pick up on these murmurs.
You're like, not a fucking lawman.
All right, a 1 and a 2.
A 4 and a 1.
I got a 6.
Yay!
All right. On a d6. So yeah, roll it again.
Again. I got a 5.
Hell yeah. All right.
Well, I'm
So
pretending to be drunk. I'm listening.
Ruben, you don't pick up on anything. You just kind of hear. There's just a lot going on. Charlotte, you pick up. You pick up on a little bit of what's going on. Just pockets of words. Like newcomer. Easy money. Just a couple little
Oh,
words like that. But Cecilia, you pick up all the conversation, and while there is that, it's like, oh, look at this newcomer. One of them's like, oh yeah, it might be easy money, and then somebody else is like, I don't know, he looks pretty fancy. He might have money, but fancy people sometimes, make good money too at the
mhm.
table. He might have tricks up his sleeve. So there's just this like kind of hesitance that goes around the table,
Right.
but yeah.
Interesting.
Ladies,
Okay.
And then finally, yeah,
can I
after the
get up?
murmurs, one of the individuals is like,
Ladies.
yeah, friend, come on over.
Go over.
Can we
Uh,
watch from where we are?
yeah, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see what's going on. Yep. So
Gentlemen,
Well, howdy.
How are you doing on this fine evening?
Well, be a lot better if the cards come my way. There's a little chuckle from the group as it seems like that individual is the next that's struggling the most at the table. He says, "Yeah, no, Sandy, he's always salty. Doesn't do too well at the tables, but it's all good fun. My name's Jonathan. How are you?
I'm doing very good. My name is Ruben.
Good to meet you, Ruben. What brings you through town?"
We're just passing through. We ran into some wolves on the way in here. Buddy of mine got a little hurt, and so we figured it'd be a good place to rest up before we continue our journey.
Ah, I see. Yeah, here in the saloon's always a good place for a little recovery.
Amen to that.
All right. Well, as I mentioned, Sandy over there, and this is Thomas here. Glad to have you. Good old 5 card stud. Is that good with you?
That's perfect.
All right. So, gambling. There is a gambling skill. So I don't believe you have this skill. So you will be
You got
rolling
your
Oh,
bennies.
no.
Your bennies.
untrained. All right, and then Deadlands. I just wanted to look up the currency again. We'll just kind of we'll keep it easy, but I really like I've used this. I pulled this over into 5e and have used this in different ways, but I really like the gambling in the system.
Mm.
So this is kind of simulating like an hour of gambling, like each round here. So
Ooh.
we'll say like round 1 here. We're simulating. So we'll keep
I
it
love
simple.
ramen.
Do you have Ruben? I don't know if anyone else. I think money that you have. Yes, you do.
I
I do
yeah.
It's
have.
on your character sheet. So
I do have money.
I
okay.
have $197.
I have 207. I win.
What the fuck? Well, not
Damn, I'm poor
anymore.
as shit.
Well, they said it was copper.
All
You
right.
still gotta pay. You probably have to pay for that piano.
Not even my fault.
So Ruben, we'll say that they want to do. We'll keep up the first game $1. $1 is the buy-in.
I can do that.
Okay, per member here. So now the way this works is we're simulating this, hour or whatever of gambling. Is the dice rolls? You take the difference between the two and you multiply the buy-in by that. So if there was like a 1 minus a 10, that's in this situation $9 is what the winner takes. Okay.
Okay.
So if you go against that person, you would lose 9, they would gain 9 there. So there's 4 people here. We'll see how that rolls. There is an opportunity to cheat if you want. You can add +2 to your roll. So in your situation, would cancel out that penalty for being untrained.
He's trying to cheat.
And if you roll a critical failure when you cheat, you're caught, and then circumstance could happen. So
maybe not.
okay.
Well, it's fine. We're not in Tumbleweed. You know what
boy.
I mean? We're in Valentine. What's the worst that could happen?
But they fight like all the time in Valentine.
Like, Booker, this
So,
is a percentage game now.
Charlotte and Cecelia, Julie and Beth, I'll let you roll. So us 4, we're going to be gambling. So because we'll have
fun.
4 people
Okay.
at the table,
Sure.
we do have to roll.
So
So
I'm
let's.
facing all 3 of you.
Yeah. Yep. So all right, let's do. Let's see here.
Do I have to know anything about poker? Because I don't.
No. It's
okay.
it's basically like a skill challenge here. We're
Gotcha.
rolling a single die here.
Yeah.
So I will say that I'm gonna be another wild card a gambling wild card. So I'll get the extra die, but you two are gonna be just extras. So you only get a
Can I
single
be the
die
guy that
roll.
has no money or like that's losing?
Yes, you can. So we'll give you a D4 on your gambling skill.
Okay.
That's why he's losing. So you just roll a D4 when we get to it.
Okay.
We'll say, Julie, that so Beth, you are Sandy. Sandy was the one struggling here. I will be Jonathan was the one that introduced, and then Julie, Thomas is the other player there. So you can be Thomas, and I'll give you a D8. Thomas is pretty solid at the table here.
You better hope
So-
you're lucky, Ruben.
But just the straight D8, you don't have the
Yeah.
D6 to help out here. So, Okay. All right. So everyone, go ahead and roll and hold on to the result for a second.
I just do a D4.
And so yeah, you two are just a single roll.
I do
And
the
then
D4 and the D6.
yes, RJ.
Okay.
Yep. And then I'm gonna do a D6 for my character. Ooh, okay. All right, so we need to rank these high to low. I rolled a 2, not doing hot here. Who's got
I got a 5.
Beth?
I have
Sorry,
a
Beth.
2.
2. Okay. RJ,
I have a 3.
a 3, and then Julie,
5.
a 5.
Yeah.
A 5.
Okay. All right.
So
So we go outside into these dice rolls. We've got a 5, a 3, a 2, and a 2. And you work in to see who wins what. The 2s, I rolled a 2, and who was the other 2? I think Beth, was it? Yeah. I think. See, because it's not really a tie because oh no, it is a tie. That's right. We'll okay. So we go outside in and we look at the differences here. Because there's 2 2s, and that's technically the lowest number. The 3, whoever rolled the 3, which was RJ, you broke even. You didn't go. Anyway, so you just broke in this specific situation. Thomas, myself, and then Sandy, we both lost to sorry, Jonathan lost to Thomas, aka Julie, $3 each. So in this fictional NPC money,
The cards
Monopoly
hate
money.
me
Thomas
today.
has gained $6 there. Okay,
Yeah.
so another round.
I love gambling.
Jonathan says, "No, you're not too bad there, Ruben. What do we say? We raise the stakes a little bit, make things more interesting."
I like the way you think.
I'll let that be your call. What you feel like giving up?
Giving up is crazy.
$3.
$3. Oh, howdy! That is a spicy offer. I mean, I can handle that. And
I'm
then
in.
Jonathan looks to the others.
I'm in. You got me.
Yeah, Thomas, I know. Sandy, you good for that, or you gonna need a loan?
Why not? My wife already hates me. Let's go.
Sandy, now you know that
Thrown the NPC under the
90%
bus.
90% of gamblers, they quit before they make it big. So come on.
I'm gonna be the 10%.
You're gonna be the 10%. That's right. We went to school.
So next round, $3 is the buy-in. So we'll utilize that. So everyone, go ahead and make your rolls.
All right.
Julie, what the
Okay.
fuck?
Okay. I got a 4 and a 6.
So roll them both. Keep them separate.
Okay.
The 6 goes with the 6. The D4 goes
Okay.
with the 4.
All right. So
Because
we
one
do
could still outpace the other.
4. So 5.
So 5.
And
So the other
then,
roll we're taking.
9.
So 9. Awesome. Okay. And then Beth, what'd you have?
3.
3. Okay. And Julie?
4.
A 4 was yours? Okay. So we have another tie in the middle there. So because I had a 4. So Jonathan, Thomas, we tie, so we're in the middle. We kind of break even. So Sandy,
This
that
is why I wanted to play him because it makes sense.
So 3 from 9 is 6 times 3, $18. Ruben, you gain $18.
Oh,
Damn.
Sandy, your wife really is going to be disappointed. I think that's it. I think Sandy's
No.
tapped out. $18 is tapped.
Well,
Thomas,
Sandy, you
wanna
get
give
him
me
next
another
time.
loan?
Are you gonna lose it again?
No,
the
I
thing,
just
Sandy,
need
with
one more game. I need it. I'm gonna win. I
I
promise.
feel it. It's the next one. I feel it.
It's the next one.
the thing with the loan is you got to pay it back.
I know. And when I win the next round, I'll pay back.
All right, Sandy, you got
Then looks
me.
around at the table.
You
And
know I can't
he
say
looks
no to
over.
you.
He looks over to you, Ruben, and kind of allows you to be the lead if you want to go for one more round.
Yeah.
He's.
Let's give
I
Sandy a
mean,
chance.
he's at net. He's at.
I'm
What,
keep track of my money here.
We keep things the same, or
What do you want to do, Jonathan?
oh, I like I think $3 is just spicy enough.
Yeah.
$4 then.
I mean, I'm
Thomas.
Like,
well, can't be letting the
Unless you want to, unless unless that's a little bit out of your range.
oh,
then we'll certainly
unless
stay
you're
at
poor.
3.
well, you have to understand it's $6 for me because I got to cover this one over here.
That's it's a fair point, Jonathan. We can keep it at 3 then.
3 it is. I'll let you deal. Slides cards over. All right, so $3 is the buy-in again. Let her rip. Jonathan's not doing too hot.
I got
Where's
a
it all
one.
gonna go south or Idaho?
I think
3. Okay.
we both got a 1.
6.
It's Dumb and Dumber. They're like, yeah.
Like, yeah, one
Oh my
more.
goodness. All right, so I'm at 12 right now.
Holy shit.
So
What
16.
the fuck, dude?
Hell yeah. All right, Beth. A 1? Roll a d6, Beth.
Okay.
So as an extra, as an NPC, if you roll, because they only roll 1 die, they don't get the wild die. But if they roll a 1, you check for a critical failure, and that has just happened. So,
Oh my God.
fantastic.
Guys, he has
Fantastic.
gotten he's the fucking
And
raise
then,
or whatever it is, like 3
Thomas,
times.
Julie, what did you roll?
I rolled a 1, so I should roll a d6 as well.
Oh, you rolled the wrong. Oh, yeah, roll
Oh,
as
baby,
well.
let's go.
This is
a 5.
okay. So you're good. So yours is a standard 1. It's not a crit. I mean, it's still bad. So,
Yes.
all right. You know what? I think that okay. The who rolled the 2? I did. Jonathan breaks even here. 16 minus 1, 15 times 3, $45. Just a massive pot going around here
Game's the
my
game,
God.
gentlemen.
that has now
I spontaneously combust and the money
so
burns.
the critical failure here is that Sandy cheated. Sandy attempted to cheat and
I was
failed
down on my
badly.
luck, Thomas. You have to understand.
So Thomas, you luck out because of the situation, and you don't have to. Your buy-in is covered by that. So Ruben, you still earn that money, but from Sandy, and then kind of ignoring that you're even there, Ruben. There's just like an outburst. It's like, Sandy, what are you doing? You know you can't play like that. And then they just like he leaps across the table and they just start going at it, rolling all over. And
As Cecelia, can I lean over to Charlotte and say, "See, the piano's so far forgotten."
Well, but not to the piano, man.
I sat back drinking whiskey and think this is almost as funny as that piano.
and immediately a couple individuals come in. They're each wearing vests, and you can see simple circular badge on each of their chests, and they come in and
Here they come.
all right boys, let's settle down now. And they come over and like pull them off each other and pick them up and say, you know the rules, we ain't be doing this here in the saloon. You take this outside or cut it out. And then they kind of just like march them out of here and whatnot. Ruben, I would say like you kind of recognize it's like a deputy type badge, definitely not the sheriff or marshal, if you will. But yeah, a couple younger crew just kind of coming to clean things up and kick them out. And one of them pops back in quickly, looks over at the bartender, and just kind of a little eye exchange of like everything all good. And and then they head back out. Then things
there
kind of
any-
like settle, and then that din of the crowd kind of comes back to a normal level as things go back to
Was
the
there any
activities of the
damage
evening.
to like the table or the chairs or anything?
The table tips over, chairs kind of knocked over. There's not really any damage, though. Just things scattered, drinks and whatnot.
He's
Yeah.
like, can we still play or?
Like,
That's fine.
we need 2 more people now.
I'll try to like reset everything.
Oh.
Yeah. Take a quick second
Aw.
to set everything up and make it neat.
So nice.
Least I could do after winning over $60.
I know. Jesus Christ.
I go
That's
back and
like
sit with
a
and sit with
crazy
the
amount
girls.
of money.
No,
Good.
so when I started, I was at 135 for how much money I had, and now I'm up to 198.
Wow.
Oh my god, we have like almost the same amount of money. You have $1
Woo.
more than me.
I'm gonna go buy a house. I'll be right back.
Honestly.
Clearly, there's something in this town that's lucky. It's working for you. So.
Yeah.
The
I
bartender.
walk over and I just like place down my winnings on the table, and that's how it's done.
Is
Woo.
it, is it for offer? Are you putting it? Is it community money?
No, it ain't. Take it back.
The bartender walks over, who had introduced himself as Arthur previously, and
Arthur.
says,
Oh,
"Well, thanks for help cleaning up there. This one's on the house, and he's got a trio of refreshed drinks for
Oh,
everyone."
you're
she hasn't even drank
so
the single
kind.
one. Yum.
Charlotte's is probably still there.
You're so kind,
Once
Arthur.
obliged, it was the least I could do.
Well, wish you all good luck in the rest of your stay. Love to see you around again. But yeah, let me know if you need anything.
Oh, actually,
I'm like
Got
not
it.
looking at
Mr.
him.
Bartender, I do have a question.
Yes, miss.
What I mean, I know it's probably a bit late now, but around what time in the morning do you think Marshall Thompson will be available? Have a chat.
I mean, he might be there now, but he's usually there pretty early too. You know, I mean, he's got a lot of knuckleheads to deal with, so
Get a load of these guys.
These chuckleheads. All right. Okay.
but yeah, usually first thing in the morning he'd be there, unless he's out chasing something down. So I think he does the bookkeeping in the later hours, so it actually might be a little better to see if he's around now.
Well, thank you, Mr. Rubin and
I stopped drinking.
Cecelia. Would you like to? Yeah. Would you like to go see the marshal?
Sure.
Okay. All right. And you said it's just next door?
A couple buildings.
We'll see it. It'll
down.
say
Yeah,
probably.
you'll see it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I get up and we make our way.
So there were 3 rounds brought to us.
3
Did
shots.
they drink theirs?
I didn't drink mine.
I take hers.
In fact, I
I'll
still have
just
half
do it.
from the first one. Oh,
I'll
wait,
drink it.
Mr. Bartender, let me give you
Do that
the money.
again.
Let me pay my tab
Close
before
the
I
tab.
leave. Yeah, oh, we'll close the tab out. How much is all that gonna? It was what, 3 drinks?
Well, the first 3, yeah. We'll say $1 for what you had had for the evening.
All right. You know what? Another $1. Little tip.
That's a big tip.
Well, I don't want to deal with the
He's
sense.
gonna go buy a house now.
I don't want to deal
Well,
with
You're
the
trying not to
I
deal
really
with the
hope to see
piano.
y'all again if you're gonna be that generous.
You have a good night, Mr. Arthur.
I appreciate it. You as well.
Go over to the marshal's
Go.
office.
Yeah. So you head out and walk down the boardwalk there towards the building. You pass by a little general store there, and then there's a little alleyway before you then get to the building. And there's like the office and then a small little jail cell attached to that on the corner there. And there's also outside of the entrance of the office is a wall that clearly has a bunch of current posters, wanted posters, things like that. And you know, you see various names on there. You know, Dirty Debbie wanted for, you know, this and that. You see, you know, Quick Carl and the kids gang on the
Oh,
loose that you know, wanted alive, all this and that. And they all look fairly fresh, but there's a poster on there that's like barely hanging on, and you can tell that is like heavily. I mean, it is dark out, but there's some you know, lantern glow here on the street, and you can tell that this one is like heavily sun bleached. The ink is it's been ratted from weather, and just one poster that still sits amongst all of them.
what is
Is it
this?
legible?
Can I look at it?
Yeah. So for those that take a deeper look, you see wanted, dead or alive, and it just says the taxidermist. And it
What's
has
with the
you can see that there's like bounty amounts on there, and they're like crossed out, increasing and increasing, increasing. And the current one, like scratched on there, $500.
I'll buy 2 houses.
Whoa. I
I'm just gonna own a cul-de-sac by the end of this game.
yeah, we're gonna have we're each gonna have our own house. Um wow. Can what does is there like a photo like or you know like a sketch of it?
Uh, there is like it's basically silhouette,
Mm,
and it's silhouette of an individual. He has kind of a more of like a tall top hat, not like Abe Lincoln esque, but I don't know my cowboy hat styles, but you know, stovetop,
sure.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
stovepipe
yeah,
kind of,
yeah.
yeah. Which I guess I think that's what Lincoln kind of had, but yeah, you know, and again, it's very of a silhouette, so it's certainly not like, oh, I'd be able to recognize this figure.
Right.
Okay.
You know, just kind of a yeah.
Well, I think that's
Hey,
our
Miss
guy.
Charlotte,
Yeah.
can you draw like that?
Well, that's just that's not that's barely even a
Well, can you draw?
okay at it. Decent, I think.
Okay.
I mainly
I
just do sketches like really quick.
hmm.
Why do you want me to you want me to draw you?
Well, that would be fun if we're like on the road and we don't have anything to do. But anyway, let's go.
Okay. I'll keep that in
You're
mind.
getting distracted, Charlotte.
Sure.
As you are sitting there looking at the poster, a gentleman walks out from the office, and he kind of turns right around and closes the door, and then you can see him like turning keys. They jingle loudly, lots of big ring of keys, and he's locking the door. And then he notices you all standing there. He says, hello, folks. Evening. And you realize he right away, he like realizes that you all are fresh faces. Says, "Oh, newcomers. What brings you through?"
Evening there, Marshall. My name is Reuben James. These are my associates. I'm saying this with a slight slur because I'm tipsy.
He's like, hi there, Marshall.
Slight.
Fight. Okay, alright.
He's my associate.
Right.
we were we were just over in the saloon there, and spoke to Arthur, the bartender, and he told us about a person of interest by the name of the taxidermist. He's wanting to get a little more information on that.
Yeah, you must had quite a bit to drink if you have an interest in that fella.
I did, but I had interest in him before I started drinking.
I see. I see. Well, taxidermist ain't regular bounty, as you can see here, and he gestures towards the sign. He's it's been an outstanding one for a while. It's been quite a difficult one to track down, and well, people say that there's a little bit more going on with him than than it seems. But we've had we'd have a good few folks that have gone after him that we haven't seen again.
Like,
Just figure they weren't up to the challenge, or either taxidermist, got to them, or they ran off and didn't want to deal with the difficulty of the situation.
Now, why is he called the taxidermist?
Well, because he was a taxidermist.
That's
That makes a lot of sense. Do we have? But I take it you don't have a name.
That's just what he goes by. It's like I said, it's been up there for a while, and I just something that I think is more of a these days more of a campfire tale than anything. I'm not even sure that he actually exists. You could there's still a few folks out and probably have some stories to tell. A tale or two. Certainly keep that in mind that it will be a tale by my standards, but might be good to hear what others have to say about it.
Very
You
good.
pick up on that he's just very straightforward and like um no nonsense, to the point about this situation and the way he presents himself. Ruben, you especially with your experience throughout the Weird West, you get that feeling that uh, Marshall Knox, Knox, does not really um, subscribe to the oddities of the world.
I see.
Does anyone particular come to mind that might spin those tales?
Thinks for a moment. He says, "Oh, Barney over at the station. Um,
Write that down.
already on it, sister.
he might be doing that. Mentally, and I'm in my head. I'm in calm right now, so I'm like throwing off like where we are. I'm thinking of a different um, city in Red Dead now, but yeah, Barney at the station. He's a young fella. He means good, but he's always, kind of getting into trouble and things. And
Hmm.
yeah, you talk to him. But like I said, there's lots of stories about old taxidermists, and I think it'd be good for y'all to catch up on that if this is something you really think you're looking to pursue.
Do you
I
know
don't
of
see why
a
not.
general area? I mean, people start
Are you asking like to look for this person?
geographically.
Um, he says, not really. People mention, up towards the mountains.
And I just had a question. This might not be related at all. But have you run into those weird yet, or any report any?
Mm, what do you mean by weird?
Well, it starts like flipping through. Well, it was just outside of town when we were coming in, and there were these wolves, and they were red eyes, and fur was all mangy looking, and they looked sick. Didn't want to get too close to him.
He kind of like pulls back a little bit from all of you, and he says, "Did you get close to them?
No, no, no. See, that's right, because they look. Because that was my first thought too. They
I
might
think they
have
got
some.
the sickness that's been going around. It's really, just seeing animals like that. We luckily haven't seen too many of them, but if you lot came across them, that's not good. It must be going around again."
Yeah, they were on the road.
Might be a good idea. Roll that area. I don't know. We kind of just
The bodies
shot
might
at him.
still be over there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
I'll make a note of that. I appreciate that.
course. Are there any other? I mean, it was wolves, but I mean, have you? air or something like that? Like anything about like going
Not
around?
wild. We often, well, we want to make sure that the livestock and whatnot don't catch this. So, um, that's usually what our aim is to protect.
Have you seen any people with this sickness?
No, no, luckily not. But it impacts the animals just enough. But welcome to town. If you need something else, let me know. I'll be back here in the morning. I'm gonna go enjoy my nightcap.
Before you go, can you tell me about this Dirty Debbie?
Sure thing, Dirty Debbie. She was an old wife of let's see, old wife of Boone Hassey, and they got into some arguments, and she killed him and took
Period.
off and ran away with the kids and has been on the run.
Yeah, that don't sound like the kind of lady I want to deal with. Thank you for your time.
Thank you,
Tips his hat.
Marshall.
He says,
Thank you.
I'll see you around. Be careful out there.
You as well.
All right. So, one last thing here before we wrap up for session 1 here to expand on this search for information. Another kind of thing within Savage Worlds, in a little bit, some things outside, but clue hunting here, investigation, things like that. So, sort of a skill challenge, or in the sense of a skill challenge. So, this will be let's see, what did I have for? Okay, so yeah, number of successes and a success on the die, and then a raise would be an additional success. So, and it'll just be one additional raise beyond that, nothing extra. But potentially, we could have 6 successes within the group if you all, hit a raise, or
Wow.
as little as none. So, for the way I utilize this networking or clue hunting to gather info is you all are going to get what you're after, the info that you guys are after. The level of how well you succeed or not has an impact on often, like in this situation, you're seeking information on this individual. That individual might be tipped off that you're looking for them if you don't do too well on this challenge.
Mm,
So that's one way that I run these. I really like that. That's another cool
yeah.
element to, the players need to get the information they're after. It's just, are there any consequences or things like that
Yeah.
along the way?
Yeah.
So think about that as we go through town and you meet some of these individuals and get some information from them, and let me know what skill, what trait you want to use for that. So it is obviously a networking type situation. So obviously, persuasion, potentially intimidation, things like that. I will say that probably intimidation might be a little bit more of a challenging attempt.
But
People
I have
want to,
such good intimidation.
yeah. So if you're good, I mean, that's fine, but you want to be making
Run the risk.
friends out here. So,
Yeah.
Um,
um,
with that, is that gonna sort of work kind of like how that quick encounter we had at the beginning?
yeah, essentially. Yep. So I think the difference here is like one, this is non-lethal. It's not really an encounter. You guys are it's a challenge here. And then we're gonna look at the number of successes that come out of this. So everyone's gonna make their rolls, and then we're gonna total up how many successes you have. And then that determines and this behind you won't know, like behind the screen,
Mm-hmm.
I will know, all right, you guys got X number of successes, this is the outcome, and then but you will get the information of what you're seeking. Yeah,
Um, I don't know if this works, but I have an idea.
we can make it work.
Um, because the bartender kind of said his name earlier, because I want to use stealth.
Okay.
Um, Could I go back to the bar and try to, like I don't know if this is what stealth is, but could I try to, like, listen in or, like, eavesdrop, like, by standing around, or is that a different skill?
No, we'll lean on this. So notice would be listening, would
Oh,
be more
either
appropriate there.
one.
But
Yeah.
um no, I like narratively I think we can use this. Let's see. They're both a
Just
D6 for
trying
you, so
to
that's it kind of doesn't matter. So
yeah,
but I think like I like the narrative aspect that like you're trying to yeah, pick up on people discussing things and
seeing if that,
whatnot.
like,
Yeah.
tipped off conversations about
Yeah,
him
absolutely.
because
No, I
he
think that's
mentioned
fine.
it.
I like that. Yeah. Okay, so we can do that. Ruben, how's he gonna approach this?
So, clarification question. Um, I for research would is that more for like searching through books, or could that apply in this situation?
I think it could. Let me pull up the definition on that. But I think
Maybe you could look at, like, reportings of about him or something? Police records, I
so
don't
it
know.
does say finding written information from various sources is what it says in the book.
Okay.
That's the quick one. Let me. But I mean, I think that's still like if that's character appropriate, you could go and maybe dig through some archives and see if there's information maybe from like a news outlet,
I can
things
really
like
help with
that.
that. I get a +2 for that.
Yeah, you could.
Ooh.
Good.
I have the investigator edge.
Oh, we both have the investigator edge.
Yeah,
Okay. And what is
Joey put a
that?
different spin on it.
that's a +2 to research and some notice rolls.
Awesome. Okay. I just want to get the full definition. Where are we at? PQR research. A
Oh, yeah,
character skilled in research knows how to make good use of libraries, newspaper morgues, the internet, or other written sources. Obviously,
The
not internet.
internet.
This is Savage Worlds,
The
not
internet.
Deadlands.
The
What is that?
Just Google
I
it.
caught some fishes in the
Nailed.
net. Um, so yeah, that like obviously era appropriate. Looking that stuff up. So if
Written.
that's what you want to go with, we can find a way for that. Or
Well, if that's what Charlotte's doing, I don't know if that is what her plan was or not. I would probably then, if she's going to eavesdrop and she's going to like look stuff up, I would probably be the one to go asking people.
just
Um,
talk to people.
yeah, talking to people using persuasion.
Yep.
And I would probably, in this situation, since I'm asking for information, I'd probably take out my badge and pin it to the outside of my jacket,
Okay.
just to let them know that this is being taken seriously.
All right. Fantastic. And then yeah, Charlotte, what is your angle?
So I think I'm gonna do what we said about the research, but I did want to ask, what exactly is like trade journalism? Like, how does that come into play?
I think in a situation like this,
Oh.
I think it could be part of
Sure.
that. Like something that was or like research. I think research is what you want to use here.
Right.
Plus, it's better.
Yeah, plus
I
plus
think it
two.
would be something else where because trade is like the parent skill.
Mm-hmm.
And so you would like trade, and then your specific trade is journalism. So it
Journalism.
could be trade engineering, trade cowboy, trade, bartender, whatever. And so scientist, whatever. And
So
then
like
if
maybe
there's
like
something kind
actually
of
writing something would be like,
yeah, something that came up in a general sense that this applies to, yeah,
okay.
that would come
Either
up.
way, the research is it's a D8 and journalism.
Yeah,
So I think
definitely. I
I'd
would go
rather
after
do
that.
the research. So I'll do like
Okay.
if the marshal allows, like I'd want to arrest records, like anything that comes up public.
Yeah, I'll say like you probably want to have access to the like in the sheriff's office,
Mhm.
marshal's office, but there'd be like a library newspaper type thing that you could
Mhm.
check that. So
Yeah.
that's fine. Yeah. All right. Heading back over to Cecelia. Cecelia, what did you say? The listening. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's start with you. Go ahead and make a stealth roll.
Uh,
Oh,
5. This -1
It
still?
is -1 still,
Okay, so
yes.
4 and then a 1, but dirty 1.
Okay, so but that's a success.
Okay,
So you have one success for the group so far. All
okay.
right. Ruben, I'm gonna give you a +1 for the badge, the use of the badge. I like
Um,
that. So you are kind of showing a little bit of authority and seeing how that helps here. So you said persuasion.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll add a +1 to your rolls here. So go ahead and roll that.
All right. First one is a 4 plus
All
1 is
right.
5. And the second one is a 2.
Okay. So just a
Then,
You're
single
Benny.
success there as
yeah.
well.
Can I
So,
use a
but
Benny?
if you want, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll do that. So, do I re-roll both of them?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So first one is a 3, and the second one is 2. Oh boy.
Okay. So you could with Benny's, I believe this is rules as written. You can keep either roll when you use a Benny.
I will take
okay,
the
okay.
first roll.
Yep. The only time you can't is if you critically fail on a reroll. Then you
oh,
keep
that's
that one.
scary.
So
Oh
yeah.
boy.
So there is a risk. Like
Yeah,
you
there's a
could
risk.
actually do worse.
I
So
love
All
gambling.
all
Wait,
right.
can I do it too? I
You want
wanna
a
be
Benny?
like
Yeah, absolutely.
We're at the end of the session, why not?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's a 3 and a 1. So I'm gonna take the first one.
Yep. Okay. All right. So Julie, Charlotte,
Yeah.
research. Go ahead and
And I get a
see what you can find.
+2 for the investigator edge.
Yeah. Yep.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh. Ooh, 6.
Okay.
Can I
4
use
and
my
6.
Benny too? Because we're
If you like, sure thing.
okay.
So you're
Time.
sitting on a single success right now.
Yes.
That's a
Good.
4.
Oh,
Hey, roll it
okay.
again.
Yay.
Ooh.
Well, you can't win them
Okay,
all.
7, 8, 9.
No, that's so good.
Right? 6, 7, 8. So 8, 9 with the bonuses. So you have 2 successes.
Okay.
Yay!
So very
So we
good.
have
So
There we go.
4
4
total.
successes for the group total. So pretty good. Pretty good. We'll see how that plays out for you all.
Ooh.
But you gain some information. You talk to a few individuals. You look some information up. Things like and it's a range. I think you kind of discern some of this, but you get a sense that some of these things are these like tall tales, and some of it might be a little bit more factual. But the taxidermist, this crazy individual that he was a butcher turned madman. He is kidnapping animals and doing something dastardly with them. Tales of individuals that are like half human, half animal, that stalk the forest, that believe that this individual is responsible for that. Um, Information that as the butcher, had really ruffled a lot of feathers around town as he kept kind of increasing prices, and he was just seemed really greedy. Um, and rumors that he actually uh, murdered the previous butcher and kind of took over the role. So you pick up on all these little details and things about this individual, and do get also about like kind of reaffirming what the marshal said, that he's been known. People have said that he's been up in the mountains
Okay.
to the northeast of Valentine. There, sorry, I think it's actually northwest in Grizzly's East
Oh, yeah,
area.
yeah.
I believe
Mm.
is that. Yeah. So you get a decent start of information on where to head to try and seek out this individual. So with that, the evening comes to a head, and it's probably time for everyone to finally get their rest, turn in for the night. uh Cecelia hoping to kind of recover from those bumps and bruises, um which you will in the morning. So we'll take those off for next time and things like that. Cecelia, do you want to
Roll.
discuss your evening rituals? Do you have any evening rituals? I don't know if you got deep into that for.
I would say she, like, goes back to her room, takes off the makeup as much as she can, um, So I know I have to roll at night or something like that.
So do you do anything to try and deal with this situation?
I was gonna say maybe she would like, because they both know, maybe she would ask if Ruben or Charlotte could like tie her to something,
Hmm.
like either her arms to the bed or like something, just in case something happens.
Yeah. Yeah, and whether that's, I think, like you said, I think they know what's going on, but you could also play it off as like these extreme walking night terrors that you have,
Yeah,
or something, sleepwalking, whatever.
yeah. I sleepwalk real bad, and I don't want to do that in a hotel, obviously. So
Like Nosferatu.
just like these ropes,
And like
I'm prepared.
rad.
Uh,
Mr.
Write that
Rubin, I
down. Write
think
that down.
you probably tie a knot better than I do. So
um. Okay.
I'm real tight.
Depending on how long you all
Haven't
have
had to do this in
traveled,
a
this
long
is probably
time.
not the first time,
yeah.
you've done
Yeah,
this. So, you've have you even setting up camp, maybe, to a tree or something.
yeah.
So not out of the ordinary, I would say, if you've been
Nah,
traveling together.
just different when someone willingly wants to get tied up.
That's
That
crazy.
sounded really bad. I meant like for bad people.
No, I know, like a law, but
Yes.
yeah. So she would call one of them to her room, be like, "Get it over with."
Okay.
Yeah,
I tie her up.
All right.
hog
So
tie.
seems secure enough there, on the bed of her room, and then the two of you can head to your respective rooms and turn in for the night. All right. Let's see. Uh, the rolling there, Beth, is for staying awake.
Oh, okay.
Because actually,
It's
what
not
it
night.
is like, you technically don't need to sleep. You need 1d6 out. Well, you need 1d6 hours every 24. When it's time to sleep, the um, the things within can just like shut you down. Um, so
That's crazy.
so you can kind of like regulate that. Like you're gonna try to sleep, and then it'll happen there. Yeah. So
Okay.
the rolling is to resist
Yes.
some of that stuff there. So, but yeah. All right. So everyone, turn in for the night, and we'll see what the morning brings next time. So
Yay!
fantastic start.
That
Yay!
was
Good job,
That was
really
so
everyone.
fun. That
fun.
was
Yeah,
amazing.
Thank
super good.
you.
Super good.
Ugh, that was really
I'm
good.
always bummed sometimes when it's like, oh, we're just gonna do a quick little 3 session thing, and it's like, these characters are fantastic. This is, so good. Like, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see
We
where it
should bring
goes
them
beyond
back, I
that.
think.
But
Well,
we
yeah,
are
as long
cooking
as nobody
along, and
dies.
A little test drive.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So, all right. Well, good stuff. Julie, I'll turn it back over to you, and
Yes. We'll be
thank
doing
you.
this again next week, same time. And then the week after that as well, same time. So, thank you to anybody who watched this. And if you want to continue, this is all, again, you can kind of tell throughout it. We're all learning, we're all taking time to ask questions, um, understand the system a bit better. So, if you are a veteran Deadlands player, you're probably like, but maybe
These
it's interesting to
noobs.
watch new people join. But anyway, same time next week. Hopefully see you there.
Sounds good.